is our 9th anniversary of Louder Than a Mom.
When the show started, I only had 3 children.
And mine were still living with me. We are so happy to see you all here. We have a great line of storytellers tonight. We are so excited. Thank you for your patience. We had a little technical difficulties. Ready to go with some great stories. We are Louder Than a Mom. My name is Dee. This is Erin, and Kate is over at the bar. Yeah. The theme tonight is Mom's Favorite, which means you can tell any story you want to tell. We just want you here, and we want you telling stories. Please like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter or Instagram. And if you want to get in touch with us, we're at louderthanamom@gmail.com. We love having new storytellers, so email us. And the next time we have a list of themes for our upcoming shows, we'll send it out to you. Get back to us as soon as possible. Our shows fill up super fast, but we want you to have the opportunity to come up here and share your stories. That's it for me.
She doesn't change. You guys, we are so glad you're here. We have 8 amazing storytellers tonight. This is really going to be a lot of fun. We appreciate all of you being here and getting together in person, because last year was our first sort of anniversary after the pandemic, so we're glad to fit a whole year of shows in. So that was awesome. Coming to the stage is a new storyteller for Louder Than a Mom, which we're so excited. She's an author, she's a TED Talk presenter, and a storyteller. And I would love you to please give the hugest, warmest Louder Than a Mom welcome to Michelle Weldon.
When my mom passed in 2002, my 5 older brothers and sisters and I were charged with dividing and delegating the contents of her heavily furnished home. I want the pink couches, I said in our first meeting in our house on Ashland Avenue. No problem, my sister Madeline said. They're hideous. Everyone agreed. I was stunned. For me, the pair of silk fuchsia love seats, the color of vibrant pink peonies, were so over-the-top 1970s lavish, so House of Gucci, that they made me realize that they express who you are and what you love. I remember one night in 1979 when I was 21, pulling into the driveway of my parents' house. The headlights lit up my mother in a halo on the left pink couch. She was sitting there in the house where we didn't grow up, but where my parents were growing old. I had been out late. It was actually not a late night. It was early Sunday morning, 3 a.m. Fresh out of graduate school, the last quarter spent in DC doing whatever the hell I pleased. If I were to come home at 3 in the morning, I was gonna come home at 3 in the morning. Okay, this was my parents' house. This was my parents' car, but I was 21, it was okay. This was not gonna go well. My mother was sitting rigid and alert in her ivory nightgown and butterfly bathrobe, a constellation of circles of bobby pins holding together her black and silver hair under a hairnet. Her hands grasped firmly in her lap, hands that were conditioned by years of Pond's cold cream. On the nightstand. I was the last one living at home, and I was the only one in the center of her worried nucleus. By my estimation, she had been sitting there probably 3 hours, worried that something terrible had happened to her youngest daughter, like I was kidnapped or lying unconscious in an alley or killed in a 300-car pileup on 290, or worse, with a boy. She never called them men. We never spoke of sex. Nothing good ever happens after midnight, my mother said. Little did she know. My father slept through all the end of the world catastrophizing, as he did for all 6 of our childhoods, our teen years, our early adulthoods. But my mother was keen on worry and maternal hysteria. There were no cell phones back then, but as I later learned, cell phones did little to disrupt the path from confusion to rage. I'm sorry, Mom. I lost track of time. I was worried sick. I'm okay, Mom. I'm fine. You could have called. Dad, I couldn't find a payphone. You could have tried harder. I didn't want to wake you. I was awake. The pink couches were the embodiment of who my mother was. Proud, self-confident, unapologetic. They were marvelous. There's a photo of me on a pink couch on my wedding day in 1986. It's a perfect photo. I'm wearing the wedding dress my 3 sisters wore before me. The wedding veil my 3 sisters wore before me. I'm looking wistfully at a bouquet of calla lilies, completely clueless as to what lies ahead, completely clueless that I am about to marry the wrong man. The next year, the Christmas card from 1987, my parents are sitting on one of the pink couches, each with a grandchild in their lap. There are 8 grandchildren in the photo. Eventually, there are 21 grandchildren. My 3 sons were not born yet. This is the last Christmas card they sent. My dad died a month later. Those pink couches have been in my house for 21 years. They've survived my son's childhoods, teen years, early adulthoods. If they sit on them now, their backs are far too tall for the tufted back cushion. Their arms are far too long for the ivory wooden handles. And if they lay sideways on them, their legs hang off at the knees like a scene in Tom Hanks's Big. If you're like me, you might have inherited a lot of your furniture. I didn't have to pay for any of the big ticket items, so what that means is nothing in my house is new. Only like toothpaste and toilet paper and food. There's a phase that a lot of my friends and siblings are going through now of clearing out their house, throwing out things they don't need, downsizing for the neat condo downtown, the house, small house in Arizona. It's called death cleaning. There's a Swedish name for it, hygge. It is so not spelled that way. I kind of have a problem with it, even though I throw out things that are broken and useless. I have a problem with that process because death is in the title. It's about the end, my end. My parents are gone, my brother Paul has passed, my good friend Lisa recently. Fact is, my friends my age are dying. 2 people on my block recently passed in the same week. I brought soup to one house, bruschetta to the other. My friends whose parents lived across the street and who also passed a few months ago had a garage sale, an estate sale at their house. There were cars lined up north and south and around the block for 4 days. I watched a young woman try to put a 4-foot white and red plastic Santa into the trunk of her blue Hyundai. Eventually she gave up and stuffed Santa in the back seat with the window open. A couple of days later, everything that didn't sell, they put in a dumpster in the driveway. I couldn't watch. I find estate sales the posthumous display of belongings, of things that people loved, but have no meaning for strangers. I find that upsetting. I feel like it's that scene in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, you know, the one where the servants ransack Ebenezer Scrooge's bedroom with the ghost of Christmas yet to come looking on ominously. Is there no one with emotion for this man's death? Scrooge asks. perhaps it's irrational, but I feel with the people I love who pass on to me things that they love, I should hold reverence for them. The items are in my custody. If I keep this pink couch, if I stay with that end table, maybe they're not really gone. So upstairs in my house, in 2 desk drawers, are sacred relics. They are photos and cards and Christmas cards and report cards from my 3 sons. There's a picture of Brendan in his T-ball uniform, Colin laughing in the backyard, a Mother's Day card from Weldon in 1993. There are so many school photos. There was that mandatory picture day from kindergarten to senior year where you were obligated to buy those ridiculously priced packages of 5x7s, 8x10s, and about 100 wallet-sized photos. I bought them all every year. And I watch shows now like Gilded Age and Bridgerton and even Succession for the contents of the rooms. The sets are so exquisite and they're unattainable, but I want to know the stories behind every lamp. I love the furnishings and the fabrics and the wallpaper, everything. I could watch those shows with the sound off and just sigh every time someone enters a new room. I have a parrot lamp from my mother in the dining room. Some people think it's really awful. I love it. I love the stories behind the red plaid couches and the chairs in flame stitch. I want to know what it is that people loved and why. I have stayed in the house that I bought from my brother 27 years ago. I raised my sons there. For me, it's important for them to have a safe haven to always come back to. I have not been good about throwing things away. I hold on to their belongings because I want them to know they are valued, their things are valued. They will not be erased. I guess for me, also, I just want to matter to somebody. I watched a movie a couple nights ago called Land. It was on Hulu or Netflix or HBO, which is now Max. It was starring Robin Wright. She's so awesome. But in this movie, she plays a woman who gives away all of her belongings and possessions. She moves off the grid to this small cabin in the mountains in Wyoming where she owns nothing and knows no one. I absolutely could not relate. She does that because her husband and her son died. I also could not relate to Nomadland. If you remember that 2020 movie, well, it was based on the book about a group of seniors who live in their RVs with minimal possessions and they create community around them, moving across the country. I can't relate because for me, camping is the C word. People you love die, people you love leave. They leave with you in your custody things that they loved. I feel like you owe it to them. If you can't keep them in your house, take pictures of them and give it away to someone who will love that piece too. I worry that when I'm gone, my sons are going to throw everything I own in a dumpster. Maybe Madeline will stop them, or maybe she will cheer them on, but I also hold out hope that I know they don't want the pink couches that were my mom's favorite, but maybe their partners will. Or maybe they would take it to a secondhand store, or on some sunny Saturday afternoon, someone walks in and says, "Those, yeah."